We see Jesus now out on the road on his ministry, and he's been given authority. The scriptures today remind us that Jesus has been given authority to teach the truth, and authority over unclean spirits. In the gospel today, we hear how he drove out an unclean spirit from a person. Jesus healed many sick people, the lame, the blind, the deaf, all as a sign of God's goodness and God's healing. But Jesus himself was subject to suffering. He willed, when he took on our human nature, to take on our human condition. So he was subject to suffering. And the letter to the Hebrews told us this morning that Jesus was made perfect through suffering. Think of that. Jesus was made perfect through suffering. And we are the followers of Jesus. And so we are made perfect through suffering. There are many, many kinds of suffering that we have in our lives. Sickness is one of them, and we're remembering the sick in this Mass. Sickness is one of the great sufferings of life. But there are many other kinds. There's mental suffering and worry, all that kind of thing. Much suffering in life. And we all have to carry a cross of suffering in our lives. It might be comforting, though, to remember that Jesus, too, had to suffer. And he chose to suffer. And, moreover, it was through his suffering that he became perfect. Think of that. Through his suffering, he became perfect. So our suffering in our lives doesn't have to be wasted. It can make us better and better. How can it do that? It depends on the spirit with which we accept our suffering. If we accept our suffering as Jesus accepted his suffering, which is basically God's will be done. God's will be done. If I can do anything about my suffering, I will. But many times we can't do anything about it. Then we say, Lord, accept this as your will. Let it be for my good. Let it be for your glory. And then our sufferings, too, will help us to become the perfect children of God that we are called to be.